Yo, today's Saturday, October 18th, and I'm going to be going over last week's price action and the trades that I took. So we started off, this is Monday. We have this hourly gap right here. We're having some bullish pressure after having sold off insane Friday, October 10th, because Trump made some announcement about tariffs on China, right? So then we go on here, hop on the 15-minute. We have this hourly right here, and then we have these two unmitigated fair value gaps on the 15-minute. So, whoa, no, it's not right. Right here. So then we have this fair value gap, and then we created these intermediate lows, which is basically lows that are inside of a fair value gap. So what I want to see, I see that we're having very, very bullish moves. I want to see market open, go in, sweep these, and then we could target, for example, these highs and this 15-minute gap. Let me get rid of this, right? So then hop on the 1 minute. Market opens, boom, perfect. We sweep these lows and enter into this 15-minute gap. Definitely very, very nice sign, especially when you're looking for longs. It's important to see price go lower first and then have some moves up. Right after sweeping these lows, we get a very nice reaction. I hop on the highest time frame to look for the highest time frame inversion. What do we get? We have this 5-minute gap right here. We get that 5-minute inversion. I personally took this trade. I entered as soon as we inverse the 5-minute, and I was targeting this unmitigated 15-minute gap, and I had this high as my final TP. I entered with either 3 or 4 micros. Pretty sure it was 3. I'm in. Little to no drawdown. This was my break even. I'm still mastering the whole break even like placement. So I definitely think in a future trade I would have my break even right here just to be a little more safe. But what do? We flood right into my take profit. We have this 1-minute gap holding, but then eventually it does get inverse and I close my position because we tapped into a 15-minute gap and we got an inversion. What do we expect? Something like that to happen. So I closed early. I took my profit, called it a day. But later on in the day is when that high actually ended up getting taken. Yep. So now on to Tuesday. Overnight we had a huge dump. And then we have a lot of buy side liquidity. We have this high right here. We have this unmitigated gap right here. And we have this 15-minute gap right here. We're in this huge gap, also targeting new week opening gap, which is very, very important and strong draw on liquidity. If you hop on the 5-minute, tap into this 15-minute gap, market opens, we dump. Get a huge dump. Continue going lower, but what do we get? We get a fill of that new week opening gap, which is what I like to see. Like same thing as the Monday, open lower, my targets are higher, right? We have this unmitigated gap, 5-minute, and this unmitigated gap on the 5-minute. Then we hop on the 1-minute, we see perfect manipulation leg right here. I'm looking for the highest time frame inversion. Right here from the look of this candle, it looks like we're gonna see some type of move up. So I hop on a higher time frame. Is there a 2-minute? Yes, there is, but there's not a 3-minute because I'm looking for the highest time frame gap on this manipulation leg, not the whole move. And then what do we do on the 2-minute? We get that perfect inversion. I'm in right off the inversion, targeting this 5-minute gap right here, and this 5-minute gap. I had my first take profit basically as my break-even point, just to secure, some profit. I'm trying to get my funded out of drawdown right now. So we got a little retrace, take out TP1, right after take out TP2, bang. This was a very, very nice trade. And then if you hop on the 15-minute, or maybe the 5 would make this look better. We just completely pumped to all the other targets. But I like to, take profit at the spots that I know for sure are going to get hit. On a day like this, I could definitely leave some runners. Once I'm risking heavier, I got more micros on my position, then I could leave some runners to all of these, definitely to maximize my profits. So then we go over here. We're on to Wednesday. So far in the week, Monday and Tuesday, I took 2 dubs. Very nice trades. It's 2. All right. So then, if you hop on the 15, what do we have? Very, very bullish pressure. So I'm looking to have long targets. We have this 15-minute gap right here with these intermediate lows. We have this 15-minute gap down here. These intermediate lows right here. These intermediate lows. So I'm just looking for PD arrays that are going to help me push higher. Hop on the 5-minute. This is looking nice. We go over to 9:30. What do we get? Immediate, same thing as the last 2 days. Move down, manipulation downwards. We sweep this, which was, I should probably be marking these out. Yeah, this is just an intermediate low inside of a 15-minute gap. Yeah, which is, I didn't take a trade on Wednesday because I saw this and I thought this was just straight chop. But turns out it wasn't, because there was a nice move on this. If we continue going, we're looking, we take out these equal lows, which also happen to be just barely tapped. Actually, no, this was an unmitigated 15-minute gap with some basically relatively equal lows right at the top of it. This was very nice, and I saw this and it kind of threw me off, and I thought we were just chopping, but this was a very, very nice move, especially with all of this low resistance liquidity right here. So what do we get? We get this little 1-minute inverse, highest time frame inversion of the leg. This would have been the entry that I would have wanted to take, and I saw this unfold in front of me, but I just, after having taken 2 dubs in a row, I just didn't want to push it, and I failed to trust in my model, and my model showed me that it's gonna work and play out every single time. So if my model presents itself, I'm taking it no matter what, no questions asked. This would have been the entry right here, straight flood. Crazy, right here, that would have been to the previous day high. This previous day right here, high right here. So then, whoa, moved a little too much right here. So then when we go to Thursday, I took two trades on Thursday. Let me see. Actually, hold this right here. If we hop on the 15-minute, we have all of these gaps. We have this unmitigated 15-minute gap. We have this unmitigated hourly gap right here. There's just a lot of moves, not moves, but targets to the downside and to the top as well. So we have this previous day high. So I was looking, I either wanted us to go down here like we had done Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, have a manipulation move down, take out all of this to then push us higher and take out this previous day high. Or I wanted us take out this previous day high to then move into this internal liquidity. And what do? Market opens. We get a little fake out move into the high. We sweep the high. And we got a beautiful, we got this manipulation leg right here. We look, do we have a 2 minute? Yeah. Do we have a 3 minute? Well, no, we don't have a 3 minute. So then we have this 2 minute inversion right here. I entered immediately as soon as we got this 2 minute inversion. I love the displacement on this. This was very textbook, at least for me, a displacement, showing that we really, really wanted to go and done. We also had these equal lows. Where were they? Oh, it was these ones, if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure they're pretty visible on the 5 minute. Oh no, it was these ones. They had equal lows with the data low. To be honest, I disregarded this and I had this as my break even point, but in reality this should have been at least one of my take profits. I should have taken off at least one unit. As soon as I enter the trade, we start having huge movement down displacement, but then we end up respecting what exactly, I'm not sure, but we end up respecting something. We start turning around, and then what do? We just start chop. I was in there for like 20 minutes, and then we finally get this nice flood down, take out my break even spot, stops are at break even. I'm thinking we're finally gonna see that move down, and what do? We turn right back around, stop me at break even. I was left, a little upset, kind of dumbfounded, but on some days market delivery just isn't there, and that's fine. So then I'm looking, and I sit back and I start analyzing. I'm like, okay, if we don't want to go lower right now, we're probably gonna want to go at least fill this 15-minute gap, which we were displacing pretty heavily towards too, right? So we get very, very clear displacement, and we have this 5-minute gap. Let me use this. We have this 5-minute gap right here. So then I'm looking to maybe catch a continuation move. We get very close. Same thing that we did here. Very close, manipulate down. We got a little move up all the way into our target, which was previously high. And then as soon as we tap into this 5-minute, I'm looking for the manipulation leg, highest time frame manipulation leg that swept that liquidity, which is this little 1 minute. Inverse right here, and I entered as soon as we got that 1 minute inverse, targeting that 15-minute gap and this high right here. I need to put my computer to charge. Hold up. All right, so I entered as soon as we got that 1 minute inversion. My stops were below these lows, and one thing I would, same thing as I'm pretty sure it was Tuesday's trade. My break even was a little too high. This was supposed to be my TP1 / my break even, which I learned from my experience in this trade to not do that, because in reality this should have been my break even. Even though it was super close to my entry, this was, which I disregarded this, it was the bottom of a 3-minute fair value gap, and this was the closest buy side liquidity on my long. So this actually is what we ended up respecting, and which caused me to get stopped out almost immediately. So I learned my lesson. Even if it's pretty close to my entry, I'm going to put my break even. Obviously this is like discretionary on the closest buy side liquidity if I'm long, or sell side liquidity if I'm short. So then I got stopped out here. I was a little upset, but at the same time I learned that valuable lesson for break even. And also I usually just don't take trades this late in the day, so I'm probably not gonna continue to do that. So that was Thursday. Well, actually if you just press play, look what we decided to do for the rest of the day. Huge dump, taking out all my targets on my original short trade that took break even. So yeah, definitely a little upsetting, but that's the market for you. That's the charts. So then we hop right here. Friday had a very, very, very high chance of being promising and giving very good opportunities, because we had this unmitigated 15-minute gap with triple equal lows on it, this other 15-minute gap right here, and we had swept some major liquidity, bro. Look at this. We had this low, right here. Swept it, perfect. This was buy model, sell model. And then what do? Huge move up, perfect respect of that liquidity or of that low. And then if you hop on the hour, actually it was the 4 hour. If you could just ignore that we tapped into that right here. I'm looking for same thing I was looking for on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Some nice longs. I'm looking for some manipulation lower to then go higher. So then this was basically my, I'm not sure what word to put this as, but kind of like my condition. That would be it. My condition. If we would have swept all of this, tapped into this 15-minute gap, I would have entered, because this was very clean. We got that 1 minute inversion of the highest time frame manipulation. Whatever. But we didn't. We edged this and we left these quadruple equal lows right here, targeting that 4 hour gap. Went straight to my target. And yeah, I mean, nothing I could have done there, to be honest, because something like this, it worked out today. But if on another day something like this happens, chances are we're probably just gonna do something like what we did right here, but then just go and straight take this out to then make that move. So I just don't enter. And you know, this is a perfect example of having to sit on your hands, be patient, and let your model present itself, right? So let me get rid of this, and that's basically it, to be honest. No other, at least for me, clear moves presented themselves for the rest of the day. Maybe a short tap after tapping into this 4 hour gap, but yeah. All right. See y'all.